Oh,
It's not COVID.
so you already had it.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah, but there's like a stomach flu going on.
Oh, don't.
I'm sorry, there is.
I don't need any extra business.
I know, no one does.
All right, we are live and hopefully
We're recording?
recording properly.
Okay, I make a motion to call the meeting to order. Is there a second?
Second?
Roll call, trustee Keating,
Aye.
trustee Stetser,
Aye.
trustee Lightgev,
Aye.
Mayor Plummer,
Aye.
motion passes.
Okay, so let's see, we left off, the public hearing is still open.
Yes, it is.
Do I make a motion to open it again, though? Or is it
No,
we
I think
continue
we
the
just
public
continue.
hearing? We are continuing the public hearing.
Continue.
Okay, so I just want to make sure. Okay, is there anybody who wishes to speak? Anybody online?
Hold on, let me see.
Okay.
I got nothing in Q&A. I have nobody with their hands raised.
Oh, okay. Name and address, please.
Robert Corby, 7 Washington Avenue. I just received an email with responses to questions that were posted online, I guess. And I've just had a few minutes to look at these, but I'm concerned because the answers, number one, it's been Mayor Plummer's mission to attack me and assassinate my character. I'm not involved in this year's budget.
What?
I don't appreciate being referenced here with facts that just aren't correct. We did have a plan for update of the equipment. It was updated every year. And again, you know, there's 10 items on here. I haven't had time to address each of these individually, but I did read through them. And why the smoke and mirrors? Why not just straightforward answers? I don't understand it. You know, Mary Morowski, the former treasurer, there was a special meeting to terminate her for fulfilling the role of treasurer here, and she was never told it. That's not what the answer here says. The answer says that she had already retired. Well, that's true. That's not what the issue was, and that's not what the question is. So let's just all be honest here and give straight answers. I think as taxpayers, we just want the truth, not smoke and mirrors. Thank you.
Thanks so much. Okay. Anyone else wishing to speak? Okay.
May I ask a procedural question? The budget that is posted for today says 325, which is not the most recent copy of the budget. So I just wanted to know which one we're discussing.
Can we close the public hearing and then bring it back to the board, please?
I think this question is relevant to the public hearing because the public is, I'm not sure which budget they're commenting on.
Okay.
So the revision that's up on the website is also for April 5th.
Yes,
Yeah.
Mhm.
that's the amended budget.
Yeah, that was the amended budget.
The one in the packet for today, I believe is 325.
The ones printed are 414.
Yeah, those are the ones, that's the one I have.
I just attached the wrong one in the thing, but the 4-5 is
For the
on.
trustees, and we all have the 4-5 copy.
The 4-5 has been circulated, it's on the website.
Okay. All right. I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing. Is there a second? Or is there a motion, I should say?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Well, second?
Okay, roll call.
Trustee Keating,
Aye.
trustee Stetser,
Aye.
trustee Lightgev,
Aye.
Mayor Plummer,
Aye.
motion passes.
Okay. Any other questions, or I'll entertain a motion to, any discussion? Or I'll entertain a motion to adopt the budget.
So I have a question before we,
Okay.
do you want to go first? I think you had.
Sure, so just in terms of the process here, since the version of the budget for today is not the correct one, are we saying that, which budget are we voting on?
Okay, well, hold on a minute. I'd like to jump in on that. I think that is a remarkable stretch to say the version, what words did you just use? The version that we're voting on is not the right one. We literally just as a group showed that we have the most up-to-date one on the website, printed out here in our email. She just made a mistake in attaching the wrong one to an internal one for the trustees. So to characterize it as we're voting on the wrong budget is just a wild stretch.
Well, I just want to clarify that we are not voting in the budget that is in the packet. We are voting on the budget with the date of 4/5.
The board
Is that
can
a-
clarify that in their motion if they're adopting the budget as presented with the 4/5 date.
Yeah, which would be proper for the motion.
You've made amendments
Yeah.
since we had
Yes,
the
you did.
public
Right.
hearing, which
And then
is a normal
I must
thing that
have
happens.
grabbed the wrong attachment, but it is the one that we are adopting.
Okay,
I do have a couple of other
sure.
comments as well. I also feel that many of the questions that were forwarded to the board, which I understand will be attached with the public record, are legitimate questions. And personally, I am not satisfied with all of the answers that I just received a few moments before the meeting. I have personal concerns about the budget this year. I would like to see us not adopt the budget today and allow us for time to review things like the year-end financials, which have not been provided to us since December. And I understand there are different opinions on that, but I think that following the comptroller's advice and best practices for adopting any budget, we should know what the fund balances are, we should have better projections, and we should have more updated.
So when,
financials.
do you recall the date when we received the year-end financials?
I don't recall the exact date. The
Okay,
financials
well,
were
I
dated
think
last
the
year.
clerk treasurer could tell us the date when we get all the year-end financials.
For the full year?
Yeah,
That'd probably be July, August.
yeah, because we're closing out through May 31st, so.
We never have the full year when we're doing the budget.
I
The
just
best
got an
you
email
have
from you.
is January,
You want
February.
this one?
It's
Yeah.
never been
Yeah.
possible.
Yeah, any village in New York State never goes through their budget cycle with the full year-end financials because of the way the fiscal year is. So,
What I would like to see are more updated, more recent completed months than what we have right now, which is the end of last year. I think that is necessary to understand the fund balances, that we can project fund balances at the end of this budgeting cycle. And so far, we have not been given adequate data to do that. I understand that there are issues preventing us from entering transactions into the financial system. I do not have a good understanding of what actually the issue is there. Dorothea, as the treasurer, can you tell me, I understand the issue blocking us from seeing those financials is that we cannot reconcile
Blocking?
one of the prior months. Is that a correct understanding?
Matter of fact, I worked with our accountant yesterday, went over some of the issues. Some of it is when deposits were made, some is when entries were made. It's getting everything to come in. We have 2 issues, and I think we have a resolution as of yesterday, but given that was yesterday, I haven't had a chance to sit down and resolve it and work with Williamson Law. I had to get prepped for this. I mean, to be honest, we're this close.
what dollar amounts really are we looking at? We're looking at roughly a $1.8 million budget, so
If there's
statistically
1% off,
speaking.
it's 1% off, and it's
So it's like
probably a
hundreds of
transition, or it's not
thousands.
a check entered.
Right,
There's no,
it's not hundreds of thousands
no, we're
of
not
dollars
missing
that are
money.
never
We're not
accounted
missing
for.
money. That is not the issue.
This is more how the
It's more
ledger's
going
being,
from manual to
yeah,
automated, it's moving, it's using the data and using some of the functions that weren't used in the program before. It's getting everything to mesh and talk to each other, which we are this close.
and I think this has been really asked and answered in a number of our budget meetings, and I'm hoping that the rest of the board feels that, comfortable with how this is proceeding. I think, the updates have been given on a regular basis about where you are in this process and moving forward. And I'm quite comfortable with it, and I'm quite comfortable moving forward with this budget as we have all worked on it.
If I
for
may,
months.
I still had not completed my questions here.
Sure.
I do not feel that there has been adequate information about this. And I specifically, I understand that there are problems with reconciling the entries in the accounting system, what month did that start? Where are we going to have to go back to fix the books?
To straighten everything out, we found the one account didn't accurately balance, but it was due to entries not being made, but they were made in following months. I mean, this gets crazy as I'm trying to trace it back. So we had to go back to October to get November straight, and that I worked with the accountant on yesterday, and he had the budget entries. Those were made actually in December, which caused, and then you had issues that happened in January with the way the cash receipts came in. So you had deposits that were for January, they're actually made in February. You had deposits for December that were made in January. It's a mesh. It's not easily described. You have to get in and dig and look at the deposit slips, go back and forth, and then see his entries and make sure those were entered. And some were combined and done differently. And there might be one that was reversed. So that is the discussion we had yesterday. He seemed pretty clear. And when we went through it, he said, it looks like with this information, go back to Williamson Law Book, we can clear this. So I'm hoping if I get free time, which means getting all this set up, that I'll have answers either late this week or early next week. I'm hoping we'll be starting to move forward. I don't foresee this to be a problem. I talked to the accountant about it because I said there's concerns with adopting the budget. He says there's no concerns. I talked to Williamson Law Book. He goes, no, you're fine. It's just, we got to clear this and mesh it.
And so going forward, then really what will happen, as I'm understanding when you've explained this numerous times, is that you essentially will be creating a consistent ledger going forward.
Yes.
When the funds come in, they'll be accounted for immediately. There won't be waiting or consolidating and then waiting and
Correct.
putting
The
things
part of
in.
the crown is the software package, and I will say straightforward, I
Mhm.
hate the software package.
No one likes their accounting package.
I mean,
I heard
software
that,
is
Mike.
very expensive, and I realize that, and,
Yeah.
you know, work with what you have, and hopefully in the future, you know, when you invest $30,000 on new software. But you can't enter transactions as they're going along. So let's say you got January. I can't enter February, March, anything occurring currently until I get that 1 month closed. Then you got to do only February. You can't work ahead with the software package. That itself is troublesome because you can't see your current month. That is the software packages issue.
Can I ask a follow-up question? We've talked about this before, but I do think it's important for it to go on the record. There has been nothing unusual in January, February, March, and into April that was unexpected, or you would have reported on it.
Correct. I haven't seen anything unusual. The transactions that have gone in, the deposits, you see all the payments going out. The deposits coming in are in. It's just when they hit. It's just getting the software to recognize and having to do additional entries. And in some cases, a double entry might have been made because the software recognized it in January.
But I'm getting at something slightly different than that.
Yeah.
What I'm getting at is nothing that would cause us to rethink our budget has arrived from an expense or a revenue standpoint.
No, we haven't had any issues come before the board of major expense for repair. There's nothing that has hit a line hard.
A check that came in that was much less than expected, or much
Nothing.
more than expected.
Actually, we've had quite the opposite, money come in that we didn't count.
To follow up on this, so it had not been stated before, and I didn't get any emails. We hadn't said in meetings which month fell to reconcile, which I think is a really important thing. So I just learned now that it was October. We had received financials from December. Does that mean that we're going to have to be
No.
issued new financials from October, November, and December of last year?
No, it's just when the data was recognized, and it balanced, everything balanced at that moment because there was offsetting entries and different things were done. It just balanced without the corrections made to the books that was recommended. This is all minor stuff. It might have been a deposit was off 10 cents. It could have been, it's tiny.
Mhm.
And then it was made, those corrections were made in December. It's just getting the data to match month to month. That's where the issues have been.
I understand that. My perspective is that since we have an alternative, there's the ability to act under either the tentative budget or the previously adopted budget until we have these data pieces in front of us. I'd like to follow a more data-driven approach where we've got these updated financials. We've resolved the issues, even if they may be minor ones. We've talked about some of these questions that have come in from the public as a board. And as I've talked about before, and as we've discussed at board, we've addressed some of the comptroller issues in the report they issued and follow-up. I don't believe that we've done that to this point.
Thanks.
Okay, thank you for that.
So I have
Okay. Yeah.
kind of a question that relates to what trustee like have just said. If we were to vote this current amended budget down, or vote to does that automatically mean the tentative budget stands, the one that we put before the hearing, or what happens?
If the board doesn't adopt a budget by May 1st, the tentative budget is your budget.
Okay, that's what I thought. So May 1st is our.
Yeah. And that's according to New York State.
Right, okay.
And-
I just want
and-
to.
Yeah, and that's attached, actually.
Yes, so anyone watching, so we have till May 1st, which is, and if we vote no, it means our tentative budget stands.
It stands and you can amend it, but you can't issue new tax rates. You can't fix your revenue line towards property tax, because that data I have to start getting to the Monroe County and get those tax bills going early May, is when I start that process. So we don't have that ability.
So, and then just to follow up on that as well, when you spoke with, and actually the comptroller was here last week.
Yes, we had a visit from the state comptroller. They
Yeah.
did a tax cap audit.
Yeah.
She was here a couple hours.
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up, everything looks great. We'll get a letter from Albany, she'll pass it on, everything looks in order. So she's seen no problems, and we talked over some of the current budget issues and we've been going through, and she said, yeah,
Right.
it's fine, you're doing what needs to be done.
And so, and then also circling back then to the accounting firm, from a statistical standpoint, anything sort of outstanding relative to the reconciliation, they said maybe 1% of what
Yeah,
the overall
he-
budget would be, maybe.
He really doesn't see any problems.
Right.
He doesn't see anything missing. He thinks it's just entries crisscrossing.
Right,
That's all.
right.
It's, we're not dealing with something where missing money. We're not
Right.
dealing with a major issue. If it was off, it's off 10 cents here, 2 cents here.
And how things were added.
Calculated or
Okay.
added. There's a
Mhm.
rounding up issue that happens with Social Security, with payroll, so they're
Mhm.
not surprised. It's one account's been off a penny for all year. I mean, these are
Right.
not,
Showstoppers.
no,
Right.
this is not the
Right.
issue. And I've said this is not the issue all along. What I'm saying is, it's just the meshing and getting everything balanced out
Mhm.
so I can take in. And part of the problem is, if you look at our bank accounts, they're labeled with the type account they are, they're not labeled to what account they are. So when you look at it, you don't automatically go, oh, that's payroll. You can't identify them quickly. So working with them, I had to identify them in the system, because it's not a quick mesh. And you gotta, I don't know what parts are in this fund, what parts, and we had to figure all that out. So you're this close.
Yeah.
And, I can't move it along any faster. Like I said, I met with the accountant first thing yesterday morning. I was here bright and early trying to get this resolved, and we were so close that I'm hopeful soon. I hate to make promises I can't keep.
You're doing great, thank you.
And also, you've been working on the budget at home on weekends. I mean, you have put in a lot of time on this and also on the books. And I just want to publicly recognize you for that. There's been a lot of moving parts with this.
To me, I second that, and to me, the most important thing in all of this is what she said earlier about nothing unusual has come in. And so there's no reason to rethink. So for February, March, whatever, there's no reason to rethink based on our estimates. Nothing has swung that.
Okay.
So I make a motion to approve the budget dated
April 5th.
April 5th, 2022.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, roll call, please.
Trustee Keating,
Aye.
trustee Stetser,
Aye.
trustee Lightgev,
No.
Mayor Plummer.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Okay, Thank you.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Roll call?
Trustee Keating.
Aye.
Trustee Stetser.
Aye.
Trustee Lightgev.
Aye.
Mayor Plummer.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks for your hard work, Dorothea.
Yeah,
And also to
Thank you.
Brooklyn.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Appreciate the patience.
yeah,
Thank you for attaching this. That's what I
yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Our emails.
Are we still recording? We're
I'm in
almost.
now.